Our region's business is sponsored by PNC for the achiever in us all, and by Fregasso Financial Advisors. How different could your life be? Fee-based investment management securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Our region's business: innovation, transformation, momentum, improving our communities and driving technologies that will shape our region for generations. The collaboration that brings vitality, prosperity, and life to living. Stay with us for the coming half hour as we examine in depth our region's business. Now, here's your host, Bill Flanagan.
Today on Our Region's Business, we continue our occasional series on the energy-related industries that have the potential to make our region a national, if not an international leader. Today, our focus is on intelligent or green building, the whole idea of sustainability in our built environment. Pittsburgh was an early green building leader when PNC opened its first side center on the Mon River. What started out as the right thing to do for our region and for a company has actually turned out to be good business. Our region has emerged as a top 25 employer in the United States when it comes to companies providing green building solutions. And PNC owns and operates more green square footage than any other company in the world. What's more, PNC is still keeping our region at the forefront of green buildings. The media have reported in recent days that PNC is about to break ground on a new headquarters in downtown Pittsburgh that will be the biggest and greenest in their impressive ensemble of emerald edifices. We'll be exploring that development in depth in just a couple of weeks on Our Region's Business. But first, we'd like to share an interview about PNC's commitment to green building, which we conducted a short while ago for this episode, with Gary Saulson, Director of Corporate Real Estate for PNC, who's had the pleasure of a front row seat through the whole green experience.
Well, it's been exciting, and it's been exciting to see since the construction of First Side Center, which opened in November of 2000, that so many other companies have embraced it. Actually, when we built First Side Center, it was the largest green building in the world, only to be surpassed by the Convention Center, which we were actually very happy to see.
One up by the building on the other side of the triangle. Well, in the beginning, did you guys know for sure this was going to be good business to build with these types of technologies?
It just seemed like the right thing to do, and we couldn't find a reason not to do it. It seemed like a good calculated risk to take. We tested a number of the materials we used in the building, and we looked at energy modeling, and we looked at the prospective savings in the parts and pieces and the systems we put in the building, and so it made a lot of sense to us.
Well, for people who aren't too familiar with it, buildings do an enormous amount of the draw on the electric infrastructure in the country, I guess in the world.
Mm-hmm. Lighting produces a tremendous draw of energy. And also creates heat, which then people have to spend more money on air conditioning in order to get rid of. So what we're working on now is relamping a number of our buildings, putting in energy efficient lighting that does not create heat, provides a better quality of lighting, and at the same time uses less energy. Lighting is about 20% of our annual energy spend. We have done some tests with various buildings where we went and spent $400,000 to put in new lighting, and we're saving $300,000 a year. So if you look at the size of our portfolio, it's a tremendous opportunity, and at the same time we're creating better light quality for our employees and our customers, and it's energy efficient, so it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so lighting's a great example. You have 10 years under your belt now. You must have a lot of metrics of how well your early suspicions were that this was going to be good business as well as the right thing to do. How's it turned out?
Well, in addition to energy savings, we've realized savings on operation and maintenance of these buildings. It's somewhere between 20 and 25%, depending on the specific building. Our retention rates for our employees is higher. People seem to like working in these buildings. It's been a tremendous investment for us.
Pretty much now doing it every time you build something across the PNC footprint?
It's really become part of our DNA, and it's the way we do business. So every motor we buy, every HVAC system we buy, every light we buy, and we look at the energy efficiency of each separate component and then make buying decisions based on, among other things, the energy efficiency.
Do you still have to spend more up front to do this, or is it cost effective from the moment you open the doors?
Most of it is really cost effective from the moment we open the doors. There's very little incremental cost. In the case of lighting, we're replacing lighting that's still working. but we're replacing it with, again, lighting that's much more energy efficient and has a much higher quality of light from a light source perspective.
Well, because I remember in the beginning, a lot of people even today, they're concerned that, oh, I don't know if I can do that green building thing. Yeah, maybe. I'm not going to own this building for 30 years, so
right.
I don't want to pay those upfront expenses.
Well, I think the other thing is that the consumer has really spoken, whether it's the corporate consumer or the individual consumer. So a lot more products are now available than they were when we started on this journey 10 years ago. And they're really available for the same cost. You can go to Home Depot and now buy 3,000 green products. 10 years ago, they would have looked at you funny walking in the door if you asked for a green product. So whether it's carpeting or office furniture or lighting, it's a matter of sourcing, it's a matter of determination, but it's become a lot easier over the last 10 years.
Only a little bit of time left, but I do want to ask you about that little building next to 3 PNC Plaza on Liberty Avenue in downtown Pittsburgh. PNC's now bought that from the URA?
We are working on buying that from the URA.
Okay.
The transaction should be completed very shortly, and we intend to really convert it to a public use where it will be PNC owned and operated, but will be open to the public, and we really intend to show some of the technology and other things that we're doing in the Pittsburgh market within that building.
Well, very visible building, and it'll be nice to see that corner come to life the way 3 PNC has brought that whole intersection of 5th Avenue and Liberty to life in downtown Pittsburgh. Gary Saulson, thanks so much.
Thank you.
It. Yeah. And next up, Chatham University sets out to build the most sustainable college campus anywhere, and it's happening in Pittsburgh's North Hills. Stay with us.